Okay, so I was telling Scott recently that maybe I'll try this whole video thing because it's a whole lot faster than typing. And then I'm looking at this and I'm exhausted. But I'm gonna have to tell you I don't care. It's been a hard day. I've been beat up emotionally in a good way. It doesn't feel like a good way, but it is a good way. I don't think we should, do this work of caring for others unless we're willing to do the work ourselves. Because it is so cruel to expect somebody to do the hard work of recovery and not do it yourself, and not to know what it feels like, to not know what it's like to make the changes that are required. I think the biggest part of today that was most interesting and most helpful is how we talked about ritual, creating rituals, and I do this a little bit with my clients. I wouldn't have called it a ritual before now, but where we create a memory. We if there's a breakthrough, if no matter how small it is, I'm really not comfortable right now with that, but no matter how big or how small the breakthrough is, what can you do to celebrate? Trying to create new pathways in the brain that no longer focus on only what we feel are negative aspects of our situations, but focus on the strengths as well. So even if coming to a session or maybe a small group or some type of therapeutic group where you really didn't want to go in the first place, but you went anyway, that's a victory. Choosing to take that long, hard, good look in the mirror and see what has to be changed. To look back at your past and say, oh, maybe this wasn't what I thought it was. I went through a little bit. I went through a lot of that today. Where what happens, what we do is we share our story. We write a story. The professors give us a prompt. We write a story based on that prompt, true story based, and then it is. It's not critique, but we are provided other insights. I guess we are. Yeah. Today was one that these sessions are never easy. I have done so much work in recovery that I feel I know better now that I know on the other side of this is going to be healing. Based on the work I've already done and the healing I experienced, I know there's going to be more. So that's what keeps me going. I guess the joy is set before me. I guess I know that something huge is coming on the other side of this. But anyway, so you read a story, you talk about it. It's something, and then another session or small group, I guess, we do it again, and with more insight and more clarity based on what we're learning in the large sessions and stuff like that. Anyway, so a part of today's was creating rituals, I guess, ways to kind of help us remember where we've come and remind us that we no longer are carrying these things. One was based on anointing our hands, for example. The example that was demonstrated, these hands are no longer belong to my dad or my mom, or my mind no longer belongs to this or that, or this is mine and God's. It belongs to God alone. And then she demonstrated, binding. We bind and loose. I might get this confused, but the binding is where she had us tie this ribbon into. Maybe I'll do a demonstration. Not tonight because I'm tired. I want to go to bed. But she had us tie these knots, and the binding was those lies. We had to name a lie or name a fear or a vow. We make these vows, and we talk about that later. But and we bind it in a knot, and we throw it on the floor. It no longer belongs to us, and that is a cool thing. Um, Visuals for me, those who know me well know I love visuals. God shows me a lot through picture and music and things I can see. So that was really helpful. And then, so we did that. We did anointing, binding, and then the loosening. Was it loosing or I'm trying to find the word on the page? Anyway, loosening our power, the power we have through God, through Jesus, to be done running. Saying to be done running, I'm not going to run from you. I will not hunker down or tighten up. I can choose to welcome and I can choose to turn away. That was huge for me because that is an area in my life that I didn't feel like I had choices. And so, the loosening was loosening the power we have, especially for Christians anyway, the power of Jesus the power of Jesus' blood, however people like hearing that, to do differently. So anointed that part of ourselves that needed to be turned back to God and into our own ownership, bind to things that are untrue, the vows we make, the lies that we believe, whether perceived or told to us, and then loosening the power God has given us to make new choices based on being loved and valued by God, if not ourselves yet. Alright, that's enough for me. I'm tired. I do want to do that ritual thing that we used today because I think it'd be appreciated. Yeah, I look forward to talking more about this. This whole video thing is new. Scott and I have talked about it. I don't care at the moment. I look like shit. Crap. Sorry. Let me color my hair. Here's my hotel room. Look. It's actually called a hostel. And I think they need to change the name because hostel is a scary word. Hope there's nothing in there I shouldn't have been seen. But if it is, oh well. Anyway, my window's wide open. There's no screen because there's no bugs. Anyway, thank you for listening. I was going to type all that out, but I don't feel like it. Good night.